Hey everyone, this is your girl Numi 2004, also known as D Princess 28. I'm coming at you today with a healthy hair tip. Today I want to talk about creating a hair journal. A hair journal is something that will assist you along your journey, whether you are transitioning from relaxed to natural, or you're experimenting with products, or you just want to get your hair on a healthy track and you're not sure what natural hairstyles are out there that might suit you. Creating a hair journal is something that can definitely help you along your journey. So I wanted to share with you my journal. This is something that I created years ago while I was transitioning, and it's something that I still build on today. And as you can see, all it is a simple binder. And what I did was, I shared with you guys before that I am an avid reader of Black Hair magazine. So instead of keeping the magazines and allowing them to pile up in my home, what I would do is I go through my magazines each month and I basically tear out things that are of importance to me, whether it be a hairstyle or a product recommendation. And I would put it in my hair journal, which is pretty much a scrapbook. And so for me, I started off with styles, because finding hairstyles that don't require a lot of heat, that, just natural hairstyles, a lot of times it's just hard to come up with off the top of your head, different styles that you can do. So I would take pictures out of magazines, and I started off with funky hairstyles. This may look familiar to you. Those are some flat twists with Bantu knots, except for her hair is straight. I've just always been drawn to that style. And here again is another picture of some Bantu knots with flat twists and natural hair. So that's where I basically got my idea to do my Christmas look. I cracked open my hair journal and I said, oh, I remember doing that style. And then also when I was transitioning, I experimented. I tried many different styles. I even did cornrows. I remember I took I took this picture in to a stylist once just to give her an idea of the size of braids that I wanted, except for I wanted something a little more feminine. So I went with Spanish wavy hair, and I had the Spanish wavy hair loose at the ends. And so that's another thing. The hair journal will not only help you come up with styles, but if it's a style that you can't create yourself, it's always good to have a picture that you can take to a stylist. A lot of times trying to articulate or explain what type of style you want to a stylist, it's just not going to work, and you're going to end up with their own interpretation. Sometimes you can take a picture and you'll still end up with their own interpretation, but at least if you have a style, a picture of the style that you want, that will give your stylist, something to go with. And so my book mainly was just different styles. I started off with a lot of natural styles, and then it transitions into some straight styles. And I like keeping pictures also just to get ideas for different types of cuts. Like that was just one length blunt cut. Oh, this is another beautiful style that, if you ever have any special occasion or whatever and you just can't come up with stuff, it's always good, like I said, to have a picture. And for me, I love color. So I also have a section in my book that is simply dedicated to color. You have this gorgeous sister with this auburn hair, and same thing over here. Just different hair colors, and a lot of times I like to also pull out, keep articles that talk about the types of products that were used on the hair. Now for my book, my journal, in addition to keeping pictures, I also have, because you guys know that I do experiment with color. Like I said, I only dye the front of my hair, but there was a period of time where I couldn't figure out what color I wanted. So in the side jacket of my journal, I keep the box kits. So, and I always keep the last one I used on top. So Cream of Nature is one that I've used. I've used some colors by Soft Sheen Carson. And the reason why it's good to keep this is because, in addition to doing this, I also put in my organizer, I also marked the date when I last colored my hair. But it's also good to just keep track of what products you're using on your hair. So even like, for instance, some people, they'll do their own hair and then they'll go to a stylist, but they don't tell the stylist what they've done at home. And so it's always good to be able to tell your stylist not only what you've done to your hair, but the exact products that you've used. Because I have seen some horror stories where people have gone to stylists to, you know, get something like a color done, and the stylist doesn't know what that individual has had done to their hair prior to that visit, and so they'll go ahead and put a color on there, and their hair will start falling out or breaking off, what have you. And then it's not until at that point that they'll figure out, oh, your hair was already colored, or if I knew you had this in your hair, I would have never done this process. So it's definitely important to keep track of what you're doing to your hair, not only for yourself, but also if you end up going to somebody later, you can tell them what you've done. It's the same thing, just like if you go to a doctor. The doctor always wants to know what medications you've been using so that he'll know, he or she will know what worked and what didn't work. And so, in addition to, you know, the color that I use, I also keep, like I said, pictures of product recommendations so that I can remember and keep track of what I've used that didn't work for me or what I've used that did work for me. And that's why I said a hair journal is very important. It's something that you can benefit from if you're going on your product search. For instance, before I had perfected my flat iron technique, I was looking for products that would work for my hair and help straighten it. And I remember tearing this picture out years ago of this beautiful lady with nice straight hair, and you see this is her at the top, her naturally curly hair. And it showed that she used this product right here. It was called Relax by John Frieda Frizz-Ease. Now, that product didn't work for me. I didn't get these lovely results, but that doesn't mean that the product's not good. It just didn't work for me. But I kept this so that I could remember that it didn't work for me, because a lot of times I will see women and I'll say, oh, you know, what did you use on your hair? If they have a style that I like. And if they tell me, a lot of times I'll run out and buy it, because, you know, you get so excited, you see somebody with a bang and do, and then I totally forgot that I tried it and it didn't work for me. So I like to keep track of stuff that I've tried. And actually, I've shared with you guys before that I love Organic Root Stimulator olive oil lotion, as I use it not only to moisturize my hair, but also as a heat protectant prior to flat ironing it. And I discovered that by looking in a magazine. I saw this lady, just like I saw the lady who used a John Frieda product, and usually in those magazines it'll say what products they use, and it says she used this lotion, and I tried it and it worked for me, and I stuck to it ever since. So like I said, creating a hair journal is a great thing, ladies, and just something for, like I said, you to keep track of not only the products that you've used that work for you, that don't work for you, to keep track of the products that if you're dyeing your hair, you'll know exactly what kit and color you used, and also to give you ideas for styles, not only when you're doing your hair yourself, but if you need a guide to give your stylist a guide to go by. So that's it, ladies. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. You will find more helpful tips like this on my blog spot and videos, because I do have some videos up there that you will not find here. So check me out at glorycrown.blogspot.com.